So this is where the fun begins. We're going to start working on the passenger fender here. We're going to remove the flare, kind of set the fender in place because we're going to put some tube fenders on. And then the goal is, once the tube fender's patched up, put on, I'm going to start running some of the wiring across. Oh, excuse me, this cold just won't let up. It's been week number 4 now. It's freaking brutal. So run some of the wiring across. Start discoing some of the wiring we don't need. Start figuring out what wiring I do need. Getting all that into place before we could start playing around with the rest of the stuff. Like I said before, the intake is not going on until the brace is underneath. Doing a change for the transmission connector to the transfer case. Those parts should be coming in within the next couple weeks. So I'll discuss what I'm doing there. I think it'll work out better for me in the long run. God damn, I'm gonna fucking start coughing. I hate being sick. That being said, my Jeep being a 2003, exposed into some pretty extreme climates up here, I'm not really suffering the custom rot that you'd see in the fenders, where this piece starts rusting out, then shit starts getting under it. Rust is starting to form yet, so that's definitely going to be coming. Let's start getting this fender flare off, because that's going to be a nightmare in itself. No, Daddy, no, don't touch me! See if I can get in there. Surprisingly enough, all those years that the fender flares have been on there, no rust going on. So, I'm about to show you guys something, but I can't take the camera outside because there's hurricane winds. Aubrey built Tomcat something. But Tomcat doesn't like to deviate from the norm. He's very structured. I come home from work the same time every day. He greets me at the door. He goes right over to the counter, lays on the floor. I brush him because that's what we do every day. Then after he's finished saying that he's had enough of brushing, he sits by his bowl, and then I feed him, and then he walks over to the door, he meows, and I let him out. He's very structured. And the past few years, I had that little perch in there that was pretty ghetto, but Tomcat loved it. So Aubrey built him a new one. Tomcat ain't having any part of it. Tomcat even watched a horror of us taking apart his old one. He's not very happy. I'm trying to get him used to it. But right now, he doesn't want anything to do with it. But I think it's pretty cool. Look at that little bugger. That's 5 mice now. How does he do it in his kennel yet? But that's what Aubrey built for him. He's got like a little perch down here. Still gonna put some carpet on. He's got a little ramp going up. It's made out of logs. Put a piece of carpet on there. And then he can lay up top here. Or he can lay in there to hide out from like the wind, or he could sit up top. But I'm actually going to remove this top because of the tar on the shingles. I don't want that to get it on his fur, so that's why I have it taped up. But yeah, I think it's very nice, but he ain't having any part of it right now, but maybe in a week or so. Oh, he's using it. He's using it, and he got busted. And it's starting to rain. Today's fun project is try to fit up these DIY tube fenders. Once again, I'm not going to mention where I got these from because it's the worst experience in my life. Had to call the credit card company and almost had to call the police. But if it's any consolation, they were out of Nova Scotia. That's all I'll say. Don't fucking spend your money. All right. Remember this little body hammer you guys made fun of? Gonna use it again. Cause we're gonna tack weld everything else in. I welded this piece in pretty solid because there's nowhere else for that to go. But in order to get this square, I gotta tack it up, and then to avoid super rusting underneath, I use this copper weld through primer. And then of course, once we're done, we're gonna POR 15 it, of course. So now this piece is gonna go like such. Surprisingly enough, fits in there pretty good. Now comes the Mickey Mouse part of trying to fit up this other section here. Where the fuck that's gonna go. This fucking piece. Fits in there somewhere like that. Need to widen that out. Pipe doesn't even come close to fitting in there. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those rare times where I'm like, this is where an extra set of hands would come in handy. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a fucking sack of fucking shit. I don't get time to fucking refabricate the fucking wheel here. Look at these fucking instructions, eh? This is what you get. Fucking, you know, fucking paint by number almost. Hey? Fucking piece of shit's got a fucking hang over here. Fucking's got this fucking piece right over here. Where the fuck is it now? Fucking Mickey Mouse instructions, right? Hey? It's got it fucking right here. Right fucking there. Right? The only way this is gonna fucking line up, that's not fucking hanging over, it's way the fuck out here, but then it's fucking way out over there. That ain't gonna fly. That's not gonna fly. That's supposed to sit fucking flush with the side here, which brings it close to there, which overhangs fucking way too much. Hey, I already ground this back quite a bit already. Fuck me. What a fucking sack of fucking shit this is, hey? Fucking save your money, fucking buy a kit that's already fucking built. This is fucking garbage. I might as well just bought the shit myself and fucking designed it my own. What a waste of fucking money. Now that I had my little rant, we're gonna try this again. First thing I need to do is try to square this up. Yeah, as soon as I hold that base square, I'm like way out to lunch. But I tacked it up, then it looked all funny. So you can see the gap I'm playing with my straight edge. Huge, and this is where I had it welded, but then it's got that big bow there in the middle. So what's happening is where the tube will go actually runs into the pinch weld here, but I'm not gonna modify the body. I'm gonna cut this and I'll cut the tube. Kind of jumping ahead of myself here. I figure the only way to really put in an honest effort to try to fit that fender up, and I know it's gonna be, you know, real pain in the ass, is to throw the front grill on. Because if I think I got it put together there, and I come back here and go to put it on afterwards, well, it's not gonna fly. This might actually fit up. Halfway is decent. Sure the fuck ain't gonna modify my Jeep, but I'm not even sure if I'm gonna use these. Let's cut these fuckers off. So I got the fender laid out on the deck to cut it because we need to retain the inner fender. So this whole section is going to be cut out. I'm actually going to cut this back thinner. Then we're going to come across here, and then there's a brace underneath this latch I need to save. So I need to get that brace out, and this latch will get destroyed, so I'll have to order new ones. And then cut this out, cut straight across here to get rid of that front. And then I could fit this inner fender up and finish fitting up the main fender. And once I can get it fit up, we can weld those inner tubes in then. Those will have to be notched out as well, because I'm not going to notch out the pinch rail there, as I said earlier. And then we can fit this final section up. There's no going back now once we make this cut. Fender is all cut up now. I'm gonna put this in place and we start fitting her up. All right, gonna set this up somewhat now. Just have to pull the pin on there just to get her out a little bit more and stab a couple bolts in here. This is the moment where we put the fender on, then we realize, what the fuck did we just do? Because it's not gonna fit up. Not sure I'm liking that gap there. Definitely not sure about that. This part's on now. Kind of got some bolts underneath there. 4 bolts in there. This is gonna set the template. But I don't really like this, because I cut that out for the size of the triangle, but that's a pretty big gap back there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do to try to fit that in. We'll have to fit up the fender and see. This is the last piece to the puzzle. This little section right here. Gonna use my little body hammer here that people make fun of. Close your eyes. This is not really a big deal. It is, but it isn't. We'll cut a piece to use as filler inside there. And we'll also create a piece for right there. That way it'll be welded in flush. And then I think this fucking POS right here that came with the kit theoretically should have went on like that. Hey buddy, we need to cut the grass in here sometime soon. You want to go inside yet? Do you? You just want to eat some grass for your digestive health? So theoretically, pretty sure this gusset is supposed to go in the front. That's not going to work out, so I'm actually going to weld it in the back here. I'm going to leave those bolts in the front because I could probably utilize them for something else, because I still have to figure out a signal light configuration for the front. I don't mind the way it looks. Maybe I'll get some spikes for bolts or something, put them in there. So now I gotta make the filler here, and what I'm gonna do is we're gonna lay tape out is what we're gonna do. find your line or your edge. Need somewhat of a straight edge. That is not really looking like a straight edge, but this will work. Oops. So before we have a look at the welding, what we did, what we're gonna do, I always get people ask me about the Esab Rebel, and I really like the welder, except when it comes to doing body work where you're just doing a little bit of spot welds here and there. I find after a while, like probably after 40-50 spot welds, the MIG welder and smart MIG mode gets totally confused and just starts fucking up. The reason for that is it takes about 4 seconds of welding for the smart MIG to set itself up properly. But I find when doing a whole bunch of little spot welds, it just, I don't know what happens. It just, all of a sudden you go to weld and it just blows this big hole and the fucking metal just melts out of the nozzle. I don't even know how to explain it, but let's have a look at the welder that the piece, no, what should I say? Let's have a look at the fender now that piece is welded in. So I got the big strip welded in. Turned out pretty good. What to do next is gonna run a thin layer of Bondo across there to take out any of like the imperfections and everything else. And then I'm gonna get some seam filler. I'm gonna put the seam filler all the way along the line here to seal that up, and some other parts on this fender. But then we're gonna POR15 it. I still got that to tie in. We'll tackle that tomorrow and possibly get that done as well. Because I'm gonna have a fire tonight, but it looks like it's starting to rain, so that might be out of the question. You can hear the thunder. Look at that cloud, hey? Holy fuck. That looks menacing. Some big rain coming to the north of me. There's the thunder. Well, that came in fast. I love summer storms. This is what I love about 3D printers. Instead of just having these float around loose in my toolbox, 3D printed this little container. Container was quite a bit smaller, obviously, threads on, but I scaled it up on the printer. Well, I'm ready to start taking this off, so pull the bolts out. Carefully lift that out. So I got the fender off, and that's my sliver I made. Just a rough cut we're gonna put in there. All right, I just quickly tack welded that into place so I could weld it in. However, those two pieces I was talking about earlier that still have to go in, there's a long piece and there's a short piece right there that would go across, and then that short piece will come across here. Those won't actually be needed now because I'm welding this to the inner fender. So that piece would have came through here and across, but I got the main brace on there, and tack welded this and I'll weld this triangle in, and it'll be rigid enough that I won't even need it. So now I got that piece welded in. This was spot welded to the side as well, to the main piece that I welded in. You can see the seam from the back side, and then I just did some welds coming up the side, and I still got a gap right there. I could probably weld something in there, but probably just gonna get some seam sealer. Now remember what I was talking about earlier is that the original design would have saw that go through, and then like I said, the main plate will come across, but since I'm using my existing wheel well, I won't need those pieces. What I'm gonna do right now is cut that out. I got a 2x4 and a clamp that's holding this section down. Got it spot welded in on the back side here. I'll clean off the welds I put on the top half. Okay, I'm all finished up now. The rough stuff, that's all welded in, grind it. It's gonna have to have some layer of Bondo on there and sand it. Seam sealer put all in there. Put seam sealer through there, around here, because the way this thing fitted up didn't actually fit up all that great. And I'll probably run seam sealer down here, and then through here. As you can see, it's got some pretty big gaps there, but we'll find a way to patch them up. All right, it's motherfucking beer time. I spent way too much time fitting up this fender. It did not go together anywhere near the way it was supposed to, especially if you're going to utilize the inner fender well. But I made it fit. That'll work for me. Couple extra pieces left over that we're not going to put back in. That being said, the next fender will go in a lot easier, definitely. But anyways, it's motherfucking beer time. I got this Side Launch Brewing Company dry hop sour. It's coming in at 4.2%. This is a lightweight beer, but it's a sour, so motherfucking beer time, everybody. That's freaking good. I like this one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fucking real good. Anyways, I need to get some seam sealer now. Seal up those seams. Do the POR 15. Rocker line the under part. Can't see, but I'm looking at it. And then install the fender, start moving the wiring, all that over, start plugging away on that. It's coming together. I'm not sure if I'm crossed the halfway point on this build yet or not. I think once I'm done the front end, I'm past the halfway point. But anyways, motherfucking beer time. I want to thank you guys for watching.